إن شاء الله نقرأ صفحة بصفحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد. جزاكم الله خير for coming out today. And this is the first, I need to say, appreciate in this weather that you came out for the class. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the reward and put barakah in your time. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever walks to the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would light his way, and whoever sits in the masjid, the angels will surround him, and whoever walks into seeking knowledge, the angels will bestow their wings upon him and make dua for him. So in such a night, I didn't expect any of you to come, but alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khair for being encouraged, inshallah, to attend the class and benefit. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in your time and your effort. تفضل. وين وقفنا؟ نعم تفضل. نعم بسم الله. So we'll start inshallah. We spoke about niyyah and we spoke about so we'll just say, let's start from the beginning inshallah quickly and then we move on inshallah. تفضل. هو يقرأ من الكتاب الآن. تفضل.
كان 30 يوما أو 9.
لا نبدأ من أول وصوم شهر رمضان.
وصوم شهر رمضان فريضة.
نعم.
يصام لرؤيته الهلال ويفطر لرؤيته.
نعم. So وصوم شهر رمضان, fasting the month of Ramadan is an obligation. You fast based upon the sighting of the crescent. We spoke about that. ويفطر لرؤيته, and you break your fast based upon the sighting. And we already spoke about how many people do we need for sighting? No? Oh, we didn't mention that. طيب. So for the hilal, for the crescent of Ramadan, according to the Maliki madhab, that you need 2 reliable, trustworthy witnesses to see the crescent with their naked eyes for you to start fasting. For the other madhahib, 1 person is enough. Based upon the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibn Umar came to Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I've seen the crescent, so they start fasting. So they said, this is 1 person. We say, well, it doesn't have to be that because there's other hadith. It doesn't mean that only Ibn Umar came to Rasulullah. There might be other people who've seen it too if 1 person saw it. But there's a lot of hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, as Al-Harith ibn Hatib, Amir of Mecca, the leader of Mecca, he said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us the covenant or the ahd, and he ahd ilayna, like he is last affording to give as an advice, is to fast based upon the sighting of the moon. And if you don't see to fast upon the sighting of the moon, or to restrain from breaking due to the sighting of 2 reliable witnesses. فإن شاهدي عدل, 2 reliable, trustworthy people who witnessed the month of Ramadan. And of course, there's so many evidence on that. The other madhahib, they just say 1 person is enough. If 1 person sees the sighting, is good enough. And they have their evidence for it too. The only thing that we really meant to discuss here, there's really now a lot of people see it, so we don't have to worry so much about that point. But if a person sees the crescent and no one else saw it but him, does he fast or doesn't he fast? If he goes to a judge, a Maliki judge, and he asks him that I saw the moon, the Maliki judge will say, or the crescent, the Maliki will say, we don't accept unless you bring a 2nd person. But does that person himself fast or not? Yes, he does. So no one else fasts but him. But when it comes to breaking the fast of Ramadan, 1 person is enough or no? No, everybody agrees that you need 2. So we tell them, if you need 2 to break, then why not you need 2 to fast? But of course they have an answer too. Don't think we won, Fiqh between the madhahib is very interesting subject. So they say, hold on, because fasting, when someone sees it, you have to start the action, which is very hard. So a person would not lie to bring in 1 day early to fast. Most likely, that it will be true when breaking the fast, because people want to finish Ramadan, so they just tell you, here you go, I saw the crescent. Khalas, because it's done. But nobody's going to come and say, what? I saw the crescent, let's start fasting, because that's making the action obligation upon them at an early time. And nobody wants to do that. So that's why they tell you we're more flexible on the starting, but not at the end, because we're restricting more. If we open up for one person, then we will all be fasting Ramadan only 29 days, even 27 days, some people will do. You understand where the point coming from? But anyway, that based upon the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we believe that it is better to have two people as witness the sighting of the crescent for the month of Ramadan for it to start. Now, and then كان 30 يوما أو 29, whether the month is 29 or 30 days. We already spoke about this, that the month could be 29 or 30 days, no 28 days for us. And Aisha radiallahu anha, somebody asked her, how do you fast only 29 days? Didn't Rasulullah sallallahu say that the month is complete? She said, yes, 29 days is a completion of a month. And the more I fasted with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was 29 days. And Ramadan at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he only fasted how many, we said? 9. 9 Ramadanat. Out of 9 Ramadanat, you could say 4, 5, 6 of them were 29, and the rest were only 30 days. So Rasulullah fasted more of 29 days than 30 days. فإن غم نعم.
فإن غم الهلال فيعد 30 يوما من غرة الشهر الذي قبله ثم يصام.
طيب فإن غم, when there's cloud or you can't see it, you can't sight the moon because of dust, could be, or because of cloud. Okay, we already said even if they confirm that the crescent has been born, but we can't see it. If you can't see it, it's not there. And the Rasulullah said, if you see it, then you fast. Like if you don't see it in a clear day, then what do? Okay, we have cases now. If you see the crescent of Ramadan, what do? You fast. Right. Okay. If you don't see the crescent and it's very clear, the sky is very clear, no cloud, no dust, then then that means you do what? You complete Sha'ban 30 days. Okay. Number 3, if you don't see it because of cloud or dusty, okay, then we would say you also complete or count Sha'ban as 30 days. Okay, even if they affirm the existence of it, if it cannot be seen, then it does not exist. So calculation at the time of the Prophet ﷺ also existed. You have to understand that. Calculation is not invented. It's not like we have more knowledge today than they had. And no, they knew how to read the what is it called, astrology? Yeah. Stars, and so they knew it. But the problem here is what Rasulullah قال نحن أمة أمية لا نقرأ ولا نكتب. We count days by the sighting. Even if it's cloudy, which one would be more affirm? Which one would be more stronger? The affirmation of astrologists or revelation? Why revelation? Because Jibreel alayhi salam, and Jibreel alayhi salam would not come down to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam to tell him during a cloudy days, because it happened at the time of Rasulullah. It was cloudy, they couldn't see it, the vision was not clear. So Rasulullah said, you do what? You complete Sha'ban 30 days. If the crescent was there, whether it was there or not, if Jibreel came down and told Rasulullah sallallahu that the crescent was born, but you can't see it, it would be more stronger, but he didn't do that to base it upon what? Sighting. So it's easier to follow, and it's possible to follow for everybody. Is that understood? More clear. Because if you're in the middle of nowhere, for example, if you live in rare areas, then you can't actually see you don't know calculation, you don't know when the month start or end. You would have to base it upon what? Sighting, which is possible for everybody to have more than the based upon knowledge that we have. Now, so the easiest way, as I said, just follow your masjid and get rid of the moon fighting every year that we go through. Now, وكذلك في الفطر. Okay? We said when you break your fast for Shawwal, you also break your fast based upon sighting, but we said everyone agreed that you need what? Two witness, two adl. Anybody know who's adl in Islam? Who's considered to be trustworthy? What if somebody asks you, ما معنى العدالة? What does it mean to be adl? He's not fasik. والعدل حر مسلم قد كلف. Few things. Adl has to be Muslim. There you go. Of course, if it's not Muslim, how do you trust him? Not trustworthy. حر, free. قد كلف, he is mature. وعنه وصف الفسق والحجر انتفى. And the removal of fisq, which is fisq is like it's a disobedience of Allah in public, or showing disobedience of Allah, or being proud of it, or showing off with it. That's literally fisq. تمام. قال ولا يرى كبيرة يباشر ولا على صغيرة يثابر. That a person would not commit major sins and he insists on it, or commit minor sins and continuously does it. If the person is free of all of that, then he is trustworthy. So for a person to be trustworthy, you need those conditions. Now,
ويبيت الصيام في أوله.
في أوله. Then you should have the intention. We spoke about this. You should have the intention في أوله, at the beginning of what? Anybody remember at the beginning of? He said at the beginning. At the beginning of what? At the beginning of Ramadan. Okay, in the first night of Ramadan, after the sun sets in the last day of Sha'ban, all the way before Fajr, you must set the intention. Again, test question: for the entire month or for every night? For the entire month as one package. طيب, the scholars who says for every night are also correct based upon certain ahadith. But then, if you break in the middle, it is recommended to agree with everybody that you need to do what? You need to renew that intention. In your book, I need to underline something for you because there is a mistake there with Thama. He mentioned Adam al-Istihbab, and in the Maliki Madhab there is Istihbab in renewal of the intention if a person breaks in the middle and restarts again. Okay? And he mentioned the statement of Ashab. We'll fix it, inshallah. Now, so we have two things about intention now. Intention is obligation for the action to be correct, and intention is also obligation for every night of Ramadan, correct? For the whole month, based upon what we're learning in the Maliki Madhab. For others, it's every night in Ramadan that you deal with it individually. And let me give you their point also, just one example to show you how they think of fiqh. Okay, they tell you if a person, for example, if a person ate or drank intentionally one day in Ramadan, what this person does what? He makes up the one day for Ramadan. But what about the entire month? Does he make up one day or the entire month? Just one day? You sure? Exactly. So they tell you, if we say to them he makes up one day, we also say as the Maliki. So they tell us, if you guys say he only makes up one day, why are you doing a package? You see their point? So they have a point. So I'm trying to explain to you, it's not like you're right and everybody else is wrong, okay? There is flexibility in the fiqh that both could be correct based upon how they think of the madhab. For example, the Ahnaf, alayhim rahmatullah, what do they consider the niyyah to be? They don't consider the niyyah to be obligation for the action. They consider the niyyah to be wajib for completion, not correction. Yani if you're going to do an intention for the action, you're going to get 10,000 hasanat. And your action is correct. Without an intention, that action, you're only getting 8,000 hasanat, so you're missing 2,000 and your action is still correct. So now you have to understand why the niyyah is not an obligation. Yani obligation to do what? For the action to be correct. Because we have two things. We have obligations, we're going to speak about that today, conditions that validates and conditions that obligates and condition that validates and obligates. I know so this is a little hard, but we'll explain it inshallah when we come to it. Now. Okay, and he doesn't have to do intention for every night. Yes. And then he continue fasting till night. Till night means what? But here he says ila al-layl. So does he include part of the night? Yani does he wait till sun sets and Maghrib adhan and a little bit for the night to start and then break? Based upon the hadith and the ayah, yes. But that's not the understanding. The understanding is to the night means when the time enters. Because the word ila in Arabic could be both. Okay? Yani, I don't want to go into Arabic a lot because it's grammar. Right? People who speak Arabic, if I say, not people who speak Arabic, I just translate it in English. If I say, I ate the fish to the head, did you eat the head or no? I ate the fish to the head. Could be either way. Could be either way, that you ate the head, okay? Or you stopped at the head. So when he says ila al-layl, it doesn't mean that you have to go all, because some people believe that you have to wait like an hour after Maghrib to break your fast, okay? Or 15, 20 minutes to break your fast. Why is that? Because night has to start. That's not correct, okay? And that problem connects to two things. Al-wisal. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam forbid upon us, yani level of dislike, al-karaha, I'll tell you why karaha now, to connect fasting for a day or to connect fasting for a night. Yani Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, do not connect your fasting to the other fasting. Yani don't, if you fast one day in Ramadan, you don't break all the way to Fajr and continue on to second day. You're not supposed to do that. It's makruh. Even some ulama mentioned that it's haram. Okay, but haram needs investigation. Makruh, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did some of the wisal and he wouldn't commit the haram. But makruh upon the ummah to follow. That's one connection. The other connection is to fast all day and not to break with anything, no water, nothing. Okay, to continue on till night. Like let's say, for example, you'll say, you know what? To be safe, to continue on to the night, I'm gonna wait till we finish Taraweeh and then break my fast. We're talking about what right now? Breaking which fast? Breaking the first fast, yani breaking it with date or water. But if you eat date and water, and then you wait till after Taraweeh to eat food, you're not connecting. You did break your fast with something. Understand? So we're talking about not eating or drinking all the way to after Taraweeh just to be on the safe side. This is not right. This is dislike. It's makruh to do such a thing. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the Sahaba to do. So this is the first part. Let's talk about the conditions first before we get into the suhoor, because suhoor is a sunnah. We have three categories of conditions, and I want you to understand this. People who attended fiqh, usul al-fiqh with me, okay, the brother said make up a day and give sadaqah. I have to read all the comments and answer, inshallah. I will do that. We have conditions that are called shurutu sihha, conditions that validates the action, yani makes the action correct. Meaning what? Meaning that if these conditions do not exist, then the action is invalid. Okay? And then we have other conditions, we call them shurutu wujub, conditions obligating. So what is the first category? Conditions validating. Okay? Now second category is what? Conditions obligating, meaning if these conditions exist, then the action is not valid. No. The action is wajib, obligatory upon you to do. And then we have conditions that fulfills both. So let's take conditions that are validating for fasting. شروط صحة first, okay? The first condition for the action to be correct is first condition. It says there. Huh? No. Nope. No. 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 The ru'ya is obligating. We're talking about شروط صحة. If these conditions are there, okay, then the action is correct. Before that, what's the first thing? شروط صحة. The ibadah cannot be established without, Thank you. Islam. Number one, this is the first condition. If your non-Muslim friend have an intention to fast with you Ramadan, so what? So the first condition validating, okay, for the action to be correct is what? Islam. The ulama speaks about Islam being also a condition obligating or not. يعني هل يجب على غير المسلم الصيام؟ هل يجب؟ لا يجب؟ لا يجب. قال الله: ما سلككم في سقر؟ قالوا: لم نكن من المصلين ولم نكن نطعم المسكين كنا نخوض مع الخائضين وكنا نكذب بيوم الدين. So how come Allah said, why are you in hellfire? They said we didn't establish salah. They were kuffar. We didn't establish zakah. So were they obligated to do so? هنا في مسألة: هل الكافر مخاطب بفروع الشريعة؟ Is the disbeliever obligated to follow the branch of the religion or not? No? No, they're not. Then why are they being punished for not praying and not giving zakah? قالوا وكنا نكذب بيوم الدين. This is a big difference this is one of the topics that we could sit here for 10 hours to discuss it. Some group says they are obligated to pray. They're obligated with the branch of Sharia. But if they do it, it's not correct. Yani why? So it could add on to their punishment in the Day of Judgment for not doing it. The other group says, hold on. If it's not accepted, why is it obligated from them? And the discussion between both groups are very strong. But it's one of the most interesting topic to discuss. But anyway, so Islam is the first, okay? Shurut Sihha, we're talking about what conditions? Validating, okay? Shurut Sihha. Number two? No. It's obligating. And validating. Well, that's, Niyya. Tabitun niyya. Okay? Having intention from the night before. Fasting every obligatory fasting. Why don't we say Ramadan? Is there any obligatory fasting other than Ramadan? No? The class is over, Jazakumullah khair, that we can't. We've been here for a while now. Thank you. Yeah, there is. Ramadan is obligatory to fast. A vowel, specified vowel is obligatory to fast. If a person says, if I pass my class and get all A, I'm going to fast 3 days. Now, those 3 days are what? Obligatory, like Ramadan. So you need to have an intention the night before to fast them. So if you woke up in the morning, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you say, you know what, it's a good day today, let me just fast the days I vowed, it's not accepted. So those needs, a vowel is making a vow upon yourself, saying, I will do this, I will fast if this happens. Okay? And there are specified and non-specified. Both needs intention. Specified means what? I will fast 10 days. So how many days he has to fast? 10 days. And those 10 days are like the days of Ramadan in all rules. Okay? Or a person says, I will fast a few days, or 3 days whenever I can. 3 days could be any days, but those 3 days he has to have an intention every night. Okay? 2. What else could be obligatory fast? Kafara, expiation. Yeah? 4. Huh? No, kafara. خلاص, kafara includes all. Huh? Making up for Ramadan for whatever reason. So if you're making up the days of Ramadan, you must have an intention for those days of Ramadan, or make up days like you have intention for Ramadan. So if you fast one day and you start it to make up for Ramadan and you break that day, what happens? What happens? If you're making up a day for Ramadan and in the middle of the day you broke your fast. Huh? You make up, how many days you make up now? 2 days. You make up the day of Ramadan, then you make up the day that is obligatory, and there, in our opinion, there's one more thing. I'm not going to give it to you, kafara too. That's a problem. Okay? So you make up because it becomes what? An obligation. Understand that? So these are obligation fasting, so you need an intention for them. Type number 3. So we talk about Islam being correct. Niyyah, so your siyam is not correct without niyyah. The obligatory siyam is not correct without niyyah. Yes? لا, because that's a sunnah fasting. يوم الاثنين sunnah. We're talking about obligatory. Obligatory, you have to have an intention. يعني مثلا لا, a vow اللي هو النذر. A vow is putting a condition upon yourself. مثلا somebody says, inshallah, if Allah bless me with a child, I will fast 10 days. That's a vow. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ said what? النذر. Anybody know the hadith? النذر, vow, لا يأتي بخير, does not bring goodness. Why? You might not be able to do it. So if you have to vow, then you should do what? Keep it open. You say, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless me with a new house, I'll slaughter something for the sake of Allah. Now, when Allah bless you with a house, you could slaughter what? Chicken, a rabbit, seriously, a dog, a cow, a buffalo, a camel. خلاص? But if you say, if Allah bless me with a house, I'm slaughtering a camel. That's the problem. That's what Rasulullah said, it will not bring goodness, meaning it could bring harm to you that you're not able to, and you still have to do it. So you end up doing kafara of the vow, and the kafara, you go into trouble. So if you get a vow, something, keep it open. You say, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I pass my test tomorrow, I'm so worried, I'll do something good, inshallah. Something good could be what? A smile in a brother's face. Yeah, but if you say, I will do this, I'll give $1,000, you have to give $1,000. So understand that? So Islam, 2, niyyah every night, the first night. 3, validating. What makes siyam validating condition? Restraining from? Not eating and drink. We can't say that. Restraining from al-mufattirat. Mufattirat means what? Anything that breaks your fast. Not just food or drink. We already spoke about this. Number 4, dukhul al-shahr, the entering of the month. You cannot, it's not going to be correct if you start Ramadan in Sha'ban. It's not going to be correct. Okay, so these are the conditions that are the type. Conditions obligating now. Shurutul wujub. What does shurutul wujub means? That if it's not there, then the action is not correct. Okay, and if it's not there, then it's not obligatory. So the first one are 4: Islam, entering of the month, intention for all night, and restraining from anything that validates your fast. These ones are 3. Number 1, Number one, sanity. Sanity. Number two, we're talking about, no. Wujub. We're talking about obligatory, obligation. Yes. When is fasting obligation? Two only. When is fasting obligation? Upon two. Puberty, capacity. No. احنا قلنا هذا الشروط ايه؟ دخول الوقت، دخول الشهر. هذا الشروط صحة ووجوب. We're talking about conditions obligating the action. So it's upon the person. It has nothing to do with timing. Upon the person only. It only falls under this category. So we have condition validating, Islam, entering of the month, restraining from any of the validation, and intention. We have conditions obligating, meaning upon you. When is it obligatory upon you to fast? Maturity or puberty and capacity, al-qudra. Okay? Now, what are the conditions that are both? Yani, for it to be correct and for it to be obligatory. Number one, sanity. Sanity. A person who's insane, okay, is it obligatory upon him to fast? No. If he fasts, is it correct? No. It's not valid. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رفع القلم عن ثلاث. The pen is lifted upon three. Meaning what? They're not responsible of the action. If an insane person fasts, طبعا عقل here, sanity also includes what? Passing out. So if a person passes out most of the day of Ramadan, his fast is what? He's not obligated to fast, and he's also not correct if he fasts. Understand that? If a person drank alcohol before Fajr, and they went on all day intoxicated or drunk, this person, his fast is what? It's obligatory upon him to fast, but if he fasts, it is incorrect. Okay, and he needs to be free from both. So sanity. Number two, why didn't we say maturity is a condition validating, condition obligating? So if a child, 10-year-old, is he mature or not? No, for sure, most likely. Okay, 10. Is it obligatory upon him to fast? No. But if he fasts, is it correct? Yes. So that's why we didn't put it in the condition. So when we say condition that meets both, it has to be both in there. So sanity, number two, being free from menstruation or post-bleeding. Okay? So if a sister is in her menstruation period, is it obligatory for her to fast? No. What if she decides to fast? It's also incorrect. So this condition is both. Okay? Number three, دخول الوقت or رؤية الهلال, entering of time. Why we say entering of time? Because if for the time to enter, the action has to be, when is it obligatory to fast Ramadan? When we see the crescent at the time starts. If a person fasts Ramadan before that, it's incorrect. So it has to meet both conditions. Now go ahead. ومن السنة, let's just finish that very quickly inshallah, and we'll stop. طيب, from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to hasten with breaking your fast, and the Prophet sallam said people will stay upon goodness. ما يزال الناس بخير. People will stay upon goodness. ما عجلوا الفطرة وأخروا السحور, even though أخروا السحور is a little weak on the narration. So it is better to if a person eats or drinks or breaks his fast at the earlier time, just to make sure that the time has entered, meaning the time of Maghrib has started, okay? Not before Maghrib, then he should hasten with breaking his fast. But what if, okay, and breaking it was something light. So you could pray Maghrib and then you could eat afterward. What if a person is very hungry? Eat first. So here you go. He's following a sunnah with another sunnah. You see? Because Rasulullah said no praying Isha when Asha, when dinner is there. Why? Imagine the guy, he was eating fish. They put the table fish, he ate, he went to pray. A cat came. So this brother only read what? Bismillah ar-Rahim. Because he was going, Bismillah. The cat wouldn't move. He kept repeating Bismillah. What did he do here? He wasted his salah and he did not eat. Rasulullah ﷺ said, no, eat first, because most likely if you're that hungry, no way you're going to focus on salah. And the whole purpose of salah is what? The focus. The main focus in salah. So you should hasten. Like for the mu'adhin, this is a side he didn't mention it here. For the mu'adhin, what should he do? Should break fast when the time starts. It's another mistake that the mu'adhin does. So if Maghrib is 6:09, he cannot break his fast at 6:08 or 6:07 because he's going to make adhan. No. When the time says 6:09 to start, he could drink water, okay, and then he could make adhan. Because the point of breaking the fast is not the adhan. You have to understand that. Adhan is a time to call upon people to know that it's Maghrib. So if you're somewhere else on earth where there's no adhan, you're going to follow what? Timing. Timing is what matter. Okay? So for example, if in this masjid, mashallah, everybody ran to outside if we have iftar to break their fast and nobody makes adhan, what are we going to do? We could break our fast. We're all responsible for somebody has to make adhan. But if the mu'adhin came late, we're waiting for him. He came like 2-3 minutes late. Can we break? Yes. So we're not restricted to what? To adhan. We're restricted to timings. Yes, go ahead. Now, what? So he said from the sunnah is also to do what? To delay fast, to delay suhoor. Zayd ibn Thabit says, they were asking him, how long between your suhoor and Salatul Fajr? He said recitation of 50 verses. How fast is that? Based upon Ibrahim's based upon your recitation, 5 minutes. Now talking about Ibrahim recitation, mashallah. Hazm is very fluent, mashallah. He's a good reader for Taraweeh. Seriously, his tone is very speedy. Yeah. That good recitation, if he reads a little slow, be about 20 minutes. 15 minutes. So that's how close Rasulullah's suhoor would be to his salah. Okay? So it is better to delay suhoor. So people who eat suhoor at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock and they go to sleep, really that's not suhoor. Okay? That's asha, that's dinner. Okay? Sahur is the food you eat. Suhoor is the action itself. So it is better to wake up closer to Fajr to do what? To call it suhoor, to get the barakah. Rasulullah said, "Tasahharu fa inna fi suhoori barakah." Sahl ibn Sa'd said, I used to make suhoor with my family and I would run to the masjid to catch Fajr in Jama'ah and I would find Rasulullah in sujood. So that means he used to eat suhoor what? Well, Sahl ibn Sa'd would live about 15 minutes away, 20 minutes. So by the time he comes down, so that's the timing. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, okay? 45 minutes, 1 hour, hour and a half, good. Anything before that, inshallah, you'll get the barakah. But if you're sure you're not gonna wake up, at least get something before you sleep so you could get energy to fast and also get the reward of suhoor. So Rasulullah said, tasahharu, make suhoor. If Rasulullah did not continue, because Rasulullah fasted for 1 day and he didn't break, and then he fasted another day and he didn't break. That shows us that suhoor is what? Sunnah, not obligatory. But his verb in use is a command verb. He said, tasahharu. You should do suhoor. Why? Barakah. It has barakah in it, in time, and also in food. And this is the difference between us and the people of the book too. They would not eat suhoor. So the people of the book used to do 2 things. They were obligated to fast. Yes or no? What's the evidence? يا الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب The siyam is prescribed upon you like those who came before you. So what they used to do, they used to delay their iftar and rush with their dinner to make it like suhoor. So the difference between us and them is we rush with iftar as soon as the Maghrib says Allahu Akbar, and you shouldn't wait till the adhan is finished either. That's another invented bid'ah people make. Okay, let's just not call it bid'ah, but anyway. طيب وإن شك نعم.
وإن شك في الفجر فلا
طيب وإن شك في الفجر طيب we'll stop at this point. This is the last one. وإن شك, if he doubts fajr. We doubt two things. We doubt fajr and maghrib. What's the default? According to Imam Malik, it's haram to eat if you doubt fajr. But what's the default? What's the default of night? And what's the default of fasting? And what's the default of breaking? Thank you. That fajr will come after dark and maghrib will come after light. So for maghrib, okay, if you doubt maghrib, you go with the default. That is still light. Okay? If you doubt fajr, then you go with the default that is still dark, unless you're able to be certain about it. Okay? If a person is able to be certain about قاعدة القدرة على اليقين تمنع الشك. Okay? القدرة على اليقين. This is very important. If anybody wants to write that one, this is what you need to write from today. القدرة على اليقين. Capacity to be certain removes doubt or prevents doubt. Is there a way to be certain today? Yeah? You know, back home in Egypt, we had curtains on the windows. So people used to say, don't open it up, just eat. Okay? Seriously. Why? Because as soon as you open it up, you'll see the light. So they'd be like, we woke up late. Yeah? And at that time, we had those little lamps. We didn't have light. Electricity was not as, talking about even the 80s or so on, or even before that. And they didn't have watches and phones. So what they do, they wake up, they don't hear the adhan of Fajr. They assume that it's what? It's dark. Let's just eat. You tell them, let me look at the window. It's like, no, don't. My grandfather, don't. Just eat first and then look at the window. You open the curtain, mashallah, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Now that day is what? Gone. That's a problem. You have to fast that day and make it up. لذلك قال وإن شك في الفجر فلا يأكل وهذا محرم عند مالك رحمه الله. Imam Malik رحمه الله تعالى says it is haram that a person eats or drinks when he is in doubt of fajr. طيب, if he eats or drinks and they open the curtain and it's already 7 o'clock, or his phone, you know, nowadays we have phones. If your battery died, that's a good one. Yeah? You look at your phone, you're like, I don't know what time is it, so I'm just going to assume it's still what? Dark. You have the dates and milk next to you because you don't want to wake up or open the window to see. Like, this person eats and drinks, he puts his phone in the charge, opens it up, it's 8 a.m. Now what's the ruling? So this person has to fast and make up that day. He fasts that day out of respect to the day, and then he makes up that day, wala kaffar. And there's no expiation upon him. Why? Because he took the default that it was still dark. We tell him when you were certain that it's light, you were supposed to remove that doubt, but you didn't. So you have to do what? Well, other people will tell him what? If you were doubting and then you figure out that it was 8 in the morning, you still fast because you're doubting, and you took that istishab, which is what default that it was night, and you moved on with it. We say no. You do the same thing. You continue fasting that day out of respect. Hurmatul yawm. This is a sacred day of Ramadan. You can't break your fast. Okay? And then you have to make up that day that you broke or that you doubted on, and then there is no expiation, there is no kafara upon you to do so. Yes. Okay, let me take questions then, but let me take questions from the people. Please check your email. Hadar. And answer me. Hadar. I will. I can't check email. I have thousands of it. Make up a day and give sadaqah. No, there is no giving sadaqah. Sadaqah would not make up for a day. If there's, based upon the madhab, we'll speak about it next week, inshallah, in details. When we speak about expiation, when do you have to give it? And how much is it? And how do you give it? Okay, we'll talk about that, inshallah. But giving sadaqah would not make up for the day of Ramadan. Yes, question.
Let's say it's Maghrib and you have doubts, so whether the sun completely set,
you go with the default. What's the default? Default is still daytime, because Maghrib comes after daylight. Okay, so if there is light, you're gonna say the default is that there's still light. So as long as there's still light, there's still fasting.
But what if you have your phone, you see the time, it's already time to Maghrib, but you still doubt whether there's...
You have to be an expert to do that. You have to be an expert to do that, because seeing the sun in the sky, or the sunset itself, is very hard to know if the sun sets or not. It's not easy to just witness it with your eyes. Okay? Huh? You have a lot of issues to, even if you see it there, it doesn't mean it's there as a sun. It could be sunset time, and it takes time for it to disappear, for the moon to come in. So there's a lot of complications. So my advice would be just follow the timing. That makes it easier for people. If it's 8:30, it's 8:30. If anybody wants to try this out, let me know. I'll take you guys, inshallah, in Ramadan before Fajr and before Maghrib one day, and we'll see it with our eyes, and I'll teach you how to see it, because our Sheikh took us to the ocean, and we actually saw how it is. There has to be water, so it can be leveled out. And you'll see we're a little off, Maghrib and Fajr. But forget that. Follow the timing that you're in, okay? Like Qibla is this way, yeah? It's a little to the right. Qibla is this way, khalas. Follow where you're at is easier, inshallah. Yes?
So would you suggest that people with doubt, like let's say that phone example, would you suggest just not eating? Just like...
Yes. According to us, you don't eat. According to the Maliki madhab, when you bring in that doubt, you do not bring the default that is dark. Okay? Because you're able to make sure if it's certain or not. You're able to, even nowadays.
Your fasting would still be accepted.
Yes. Because you even fasted earlier. Even if it's earlier, you fasted. Yes.
So one day I was flying to Los Angeles. So when I passed the flash, I saw it's iftar time, on global iftar time. But when I see the window, it's still there is sun. It's still there. So what I should do there?
Why did you fast when you're traveling anyway? Should make it easy for you. That's the problem. That's the issue when we say it's easier to break fast when you're traveling than actually fasting. But then you still go with the timing. Still go with the timing, because timing now is more accurate for you than the sighting.
It's not like the one
Exactly, but it's still the timing that you're at is what you follow, not what you see, because what you could be seeing, it could already set, but it's still there. It is still out. Seeing the sun doesn't mean it didn't set. So I would recommend just follow the time easier, unless you're an expert. You could actually see that this is the sun that brings the light of the sun, not the sunset. That's an issue. But I would recommend timing will be easier. Or just break your fast and make it up.
If you're eating and the flesh goes up and you're already drinking water, or you have a bite in your mouth, what's the...
We're going to talk about that, inshallah, as a starting point next time. If you're drinking and the adhan is cold. Not a sandwich, not a Subway, or in and out 3x3, and you're like, Bismillah, I'm going to finish it. No, we're talking about if you're drinking, if the water and the adhan is cold, we have a ruling for that. Okay, the food takes same precedence. And then if you have it already in your mouth, what should you do? That's a different ruling. If you have it on the table and you want to go for it and the adhan is cold. So there's a lot of scenarios that involve, we'll speak about it inshallah next time. Yes?
In any case, what happens happened is that the adhan was called, and it was called early mistakenly, and everyone broke the fast in the masjid. What should every person who broke the fast based on the wrong calling of the adhan do?
Like a clock, like a register or something.
One second. Let me give presence to the brothers who are online because they always ask and I never answer. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Ammar. And everyone, okay. Jazakumullah khairan. Ammar Shahin, can we do homeless feed in the month of Ramadan during a day? Depend. Can you feed the homeless during the day? Well, it depends. If you believe that they are obligated by the actions, then you can't. Seriously, if you أنت تقول هو مخاطب بالشريعة ولا غير مخاطب? It has seriously. This is a serious question. If you believe that they are obligated by the actions, then you can't. If you believe that they're not obligated, like Brother Ahmed believes that, then he could go and feed. It's like I don't drink alcohol, but can I feed it? Haram. Either way. Yeah. No, that's different. Maybe not good analogy, but you get my point. So if you believe that they're obligated, they're responsible of the Sharia rulings, even though they don't believe, and they'll be asked for it, and they're responsible, then you cannot feed them during the day of Ramadan. But if you believe that they're not obligated, then you could feed them. Feeding the homeless is one of the good things to do. I'm not saying don't feed them. Don't get me wrong, because we're alive and people think, I'm saying it's haram. Just give me 1 second. Do Mashaykh eat a lot of food? I don't know, when they break their fast. Doesn't it hinder their recitation and the tilawah of the Quran? And if they eat such little food, how do they get their energy to recite? Sometimes the window between breaking fast and Taraweeh is short, and it's not healthy to eat after Taraweeh because we sleep right now. MashaAllah. Time between Maghrib and Taraweeh is short to eat. How slow you guys eat? I could eat in 5 minutes. Okay, Mashaykh, do they eat a lot? That's actually one of a good advice. If you're gonna lead Taraweeh, or for anybody, you shouldn't get a heavy meal at breaking the fast. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to break with dates and water, and then pray Maghrib, and then eat something light, and then eat after Taraweeh. If you think that's late, then eat before Taraweeh, and it's fine, then eat suhoor again. But do Mashaykh eat a lot of food? I don't know. Everybody's different. Seriously, I don't know. But does it affect the recitation? Yes. One of the tools for people who recite in Taraweeh is to eat something light and to eat a lot of hot fluid. Certain ginger and other things with honey and stuff like that. So it could make the recitation smooth and easier. But if the Imam eats a lot of food before Taraweeh, mashallah, he's gonna go, Allah. He's dead, we're dead. Okay? He reads slow and we read slow. So Jazakallah khair, the sister. That's a good advice to the people. So eating between Taraweeh, I honestly don't know how fast and how slow everybody eats. I believe food, like a good meal will take you what? 10 minutes, 15. Yeah, but the time between Maghrib and Taraweeh cannot be less than an hour. Less? No, she's talking about the time between Maghrib and Isha, and Taraweeh is always short. And I'm saying no way. But if she has, like Minnesota, mashallah, they finish their Taraweeh at 2 a.m. sometime, 1 a.m. Yeah, because their Isha is so late. So when they're going to eat? But they do have time between Maghrib and Isha to eat. So I'm saying Ramadan is not the time to eat and to... See, they did a survey that Muslims spend more money on food in Ramadan than other than Ramadan. And this is a problem because people are supposed to eat less, save more for Ramadan. But Muslims, mashallah, they buy their stuff from now for Ramadan, for the entire month, even though they're going to be fasting. So the blood goes to the stomach when you eat, and it's harder to remember Quran. That's why I asked. One Sheikh told me that they only eat dates and do not eat after. Allah, everybody's sister is different. Yani, is it correct to first pray Maghrib, then break your fast? No. The sunnah is that you eat first something. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would eat something sweet. And the doctor says it's better for your sugar because you're fasting all day, you get drowsy, so you need something that has sugar. So Rasulullah used to eat dates, okay? And then he would drink water. If you drink Zamzam, it's better to break your fast on it and dates together. If you can't, then just water. So you eat something. You have to break your fast at Maghrib. Then the sunnah is to pray and then eat. If someone ate and prayed, that's also fine, as long as the time of Maghrib is not out. Because we have a problem as Maliki that the time of Maghrib is very short. Time of Maghrib is the time that you get ready, make wudu, pray 2 rak'ah, and time of Maghrib. So you're talking about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so I would recommend eating or breaking your fast with something. With green and vegetable juice is good too. Bismillah. whatever. The point is something that is sweet, something that has sugar is recommended to break your fast on. So the sunnah that Rasulullah used to drink water and eat dates, and then he'll go on. I don't like that. I want to drink soup. Bismillah, go ahead. No, I want to get a sandwich. Lucky you, ma'as-salama. Have a nice day. I know some people, mashallah, they eat a sandwich when they break, but don't break on a cigarette. Seriously, that's whether it's haram or halal right now, but don't. There's some people, the first thing they put in their mouth when they say Bismillah, Allahumma inni laka sumt. Laka sumt for what? You're breaking on a, so don't break, yani. But if you break on something healthy, Bismillah, Jazakumullah khair. And for those that have low blood pressure, Jazakumullah. The sister Maryam seems to be a doctor, a nutrition. We could get her on one day, inshallah. Any other questions, inshallah? Jazakumullah khair. I'll see you on Thursday. Huh? Oh, what's today? Hold on. Time is going to change. Yeah? So our class is going to stay the same. 7:30 after Maghrib. We're just moving after Maghrib. Tuesday, Maghrib is going to be 7:30. So same timing we have for Isha. So we're going to go from after Maghrib to Isha only, inshallah. And Thursday, we have our class on Maghrib and Isha, but we have all the mashayikh here for the conference of Ramadan. So it'll be more beneficial, inshallah. So please, right after Salatul Maghrib, just don't think of it Maghrib, because some people will be like, after Maghrib, I can't make it. It's 7:30. Okay, where our class will continue to be at 7:30 after Maghrib, inshallah, Pacific time. Are we Pacific time? I always get confused. Okay, 7:30, inshallah. Next Tuesday after Maghrib, we'll pray Maghrib, start our class, go all the way to Isha. I hope to see you all, inshallah. It's going to be between Maghrib and Isha. We have Tuesday, Thursday, one more Tuesday, and we'll stop for Ramadan, and then we'll resume after Ramadan, inshallah. So any question now? It's time to add. You said what? If the Imam what? If the mu'adhin, that's why Rasulullah said, al-mu'adhinu mu'taman. Mu'adhin is also, mu'adhin, by the way, in our fiqh perspective, has to have qualification. He's responsible to keep the time. So if the mu'adhin called the adhan a little early because he was hungry, there's nothing upon you. That's why we need someone who's trustworthy to make adhan. Adhan, the ulama has a chapter about the mu'adhin, the description of the mu'adhin and qualification. Nowadays, mashallah, we just say, anybody run for adhan, who cares? Mu'adhin is responsible. Responsible of what? Of everybody. You're responsible to keep everybody fasting or not fasting. You're carrying all our sins in the day of judgment if you do something wrong. So adhan is not a joke. Because some people take it as, it's okay, especially in Ramadan. So I think that should be looked at precisely, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah.